And I had to first accept me before I asked other people to accept me. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Hello to those that are new here. So I'm going to put this under Heal Assist because I just haven't posted on that subject matter in a while. And since I've started IVF journey number 2, I'm going to definitely share some more videos on marriage, healing, my mindset, and boundaries as I enter into this journey part 2. But nonetheless, I'm going to dive right on into it because I don't want to be long-winded, even though I probably will still be. But I'm going to just, convince myself that I'm not going to talk too much. But today I want to talk about having the courage to show up authentically as yourself. So this is a long time coming because, last year I turned #year 36. And so this year I'm about to be 37. And this is a long journey. So for those that are in your early 20s, know that, the experience is shared, is mutual, and it's a process. So if the younger you can figure this out, the better you are. So I hope what I share in this video can be some tools, give you some nuggets, and take take the things that apply and just leave the rest. But nonetheless, I want to talk about showing up authentically as yourself and having the courage to do so. So, boom, when I was in college and in high school, a lot of people used to always think I was mean. They used to always think I was stuck up, all these things just because I'm quiet. It's crazy how when you're black and quiet, you always mean, stuck up, all these things. You can't just be introspective. You can't be introverted. You can't be a deep thinker. You're always mean and stuck up. And so I'm really into music, especially back then. I just knew I was about to make it. I was about to, be an American Idol. I was about to have this bomb music career. So I was really into music. I used to always walk around with my headphones on, just kind of disconnected from the world, analyzing music. I was classically trained in college, and so I was really into classical music, really into jazz, really into all kinds of music, neo soul, R&B, hip hop, all kinds of music. So I would always be constantly listening to music as I would walk across the campus. I was listening to music as I would walk from class to class in high school. And so I'm just kind of in my zone, disconnected from the world. So apparently when I used to walk around the campus of school, that I used to have this face. I won't call it what one of my friends called it, resting bee face. And so, I was just be in my zone, focused. And so a lot of people used to think I was mean. And I used to always feel like I had to battle so much before people got to truly who I am. So I used to always wonder why people used to always come at me with this aggression. People used to always come at me with this just big swole energy. I'm wait a minute. And so when I got to college, people used to articulate, oh, I thought you was mean, or I thought you thought this. And because I used to really excel in music, so I was always on honor roll. I was always on the honor choir or the honor recitals. And so from that, and because I was so quiet, a lot of people gathered that I was stuck up or I thought I was all of that. And that is far from the truth. And so I used to always feel like I had to overcompensate for people's expectations. I really feel like I had to be I go above and beyond so people won't think these things about me that I was stuck up. Because I used to hear these when I was a kid, right? I won't say who the relationship was, but I used to hear this as a kid that I thought, because I used to I'm the type of person, you give me a goal and I'm gonna hit it. And go above and beyond. So I'm the type of person, you give me a number, you give me a goal, you give me something to achieve, and I'm gonna do it. And I'm not gonna, make excuses. I'm not gonna, I may cry about it, but I'm the type of person, you give me something, I'm gonna do it. If I feel inspired by something, I'm gonna take it and run with it. And so that's always been my my posture, right? And so in school, it's you give me a song and I'm going to sit there and analyze the minutes out that mug. I'm going to hear the piano changes. I'm going to be is that a perfect fourth? Why did they use that cadence? And so I'm just analyzing every little detail, right? Because I love music. And so when I was in school, I used to always feel like I had to overcompensate, always be, it was almost like imposter syndrome. Like I just had to be who I thought people wanted me to be, so I won't be perceived as, uneducated or aggressive, and it's like no matter what I did, if I didn't say something, I was like stuck up. If I said something, it was all because of how they wanted to see me. The lens that society told them to put on to view me was always viewed through, if I had input, it was always aggressive. If I had input, like I was always being shady or something like that. And I used to always feel like I had to go above and beyond to prove that I wasn't this person or this idea that I never had anything to do with in your head. And so again, this is a journey, because I dealt with that for about 7 years, feeling like I had to be very outgoing, outspoken before and to cancel anything, before I put it in there, before you thought certain things about me. So I really feel like I used to have to go above and beyond. Now I'm just like, whatever you're gonna think, it's gonna be what you're gonna think, and I have nothing to do with that. But that was, again, a journey. It really was me finally being okay with me. It was me saying, that I did not put those ideas in your head. I don't subscribe to those ideas in your head, and you're going to think what you're going to think. And I'm not going to be going through mental cartwheels trying to overcompensate for something that I had nothing to do with. And so I just, from that, started showing up as myself, because a lot of people always think like when I'm silly and goofy, like I'm not the type of person that would be silly and goofy and just like who I am. And I'm very like nerdy, like Star Wars, like I'm super nerdy. I'm like the music nerd. I'm super into Star Wars. It's really weird. And Marvel and all things of Avengers kind of thing. I'm very much Marvel. And so people always expect me to be something else, like especially when I was young and married, like when I was younger, because I'm still young. But anyway, when I was like in my early 20s, people would always be like, I used to have to go down a list of their approval questions, like when I was married. Oh, why are you married? Like because I'm married, like because I found the one earlier on in life. And then we're like, oh, you got kids. Always like, oh, you must got kids. I'd be like, no, I wish. And like that for me was a fear. Like I used to be so afraid to like try to have kids, or even like I remember once we thought we were pregnant, like jokes on us, because we couldn't even have kids. And so like I remember one time I thought I was pregnant. We were like crying. We were 23, 22 at that time. And a lot of people thought we were married. And I just felt like they always used to think we were married because I was pregnant, or that all these other reasons they had as to why we got married young. And so I used to be like legit afraid to get pregnant at that point, because pregnancy and having children was always in a negative light. And so I wish I would have lived my life and started younger, because like my son is bouncing off the walls and he ain't even one. And so this weight loss journey is about me, but it's about keeping up with him too. But anyway, I wish I would have started younger and just took people's opinion about having kids young to the dumpster where it belongs, because their opinion, and they still, some of them people that had so many, harsh opinions are still in the same place I left them 10 years ago. But we ain't gonna talk about it. But yeah, my earlier years, I used to be so afraid of getting pregnant. I used to be so afraid of people's opinion and perception. And now I'm just showing up authentically as myself. I used to feel like I had to overcompensate and be this outgoing, very, very nice, to the point where I'm being walked over because I didn't want people to think I was angry or I was aggressive. And no matter what, I have learned it now at 36. When people filter everything you say based on what media told them to think about you, based on their past experiences, when they view you through those lenses, ain't nothing you could really do about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a situation at work, where a guy approached me and said that, you know, he was training someone and it will be on my aisle. I'm not gonna say where I work, but you know, we could put two and two together and make four. But he was like saying like somebody's gonna be on this aisle. I'm training him, and the supervisor had just assigned us all aisles to work on, and then a guy went to my aisle, you know, as she was assigning this. He was already there, so I was like, oh, I see this aisle open, so I just go ahead and scan here. So he approached me and said, you know, such and such is going to be scanning this aisle. He's new, and I just want him to make sure he wants to make sure that he's not doing anything he's not supposed to do. I said, bet. I said, as soon as the guys finish scanning my aisle, I'll be out your guys' way. And then he was like, I don't want no problem. I don't want no problem. I'm like, oh, okay, wait a minute. What we got? I mean, it just went from 1 to like 100 in like 2 seconds. And so he was like, I want no problems. I'm just telling you. I said, no problems at all. And he's like, you know, some people so invested in their job. And I'm like, I'm not that invested. You know, I'm just, somebody's on my aisle. And, you know, she just literally assigned us out. So as soon as he's off my aisle, I'll be out your way. And so I was like, does he want to come over here now? I said, I'll be glad to, you know, no, he don't want to come over here. You start scanning and you finish it. Like, he came at me with all kind of energy, right? I'm just saying, I'm baffled because this is third shift, right? So I'm just barely awake. I'm just moving at this point. And so I'm like super awake now, and I'm just confused. I was literally so confused. And so then as I walked off the aisle to proceed to my other aisle, he had started engaging in a conversation with somebody else. This one I don't deal with, you know, women. And so I'm like, bruh, like, you the one came at me all kind of crazy. And so I'm confused. Like, he just engaged, and it's just interesting to me how the guy just co-signed everything he was saying without even having had a conversation with me ever. And so at that point I realized that no matter what you do, you know, sometimes things are always viewed through the lenses of bad experiences, viewed through the lenses of what people want to think about you and the things that they attach to you. And you just got to keep it all moving, because some people are super hurt and they got all kind of voices in their ear. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I was mad confused, but I was like, I'm not gonna be uncomfortable. You know, some people deal with them situations and they'll just be like overcompensating. I would have, like a couple years ago, I would have overcompensated, trying to make myself seem like I'm not aggressive, I'm not invested, like I don't care anymore. You gonna think what you want to think, and that have nothing to do with me. That has more bearing on you, that you treat everybody and you brush everybody with this broad brush of your experiences, and I don't have the opportunity to be an individual because you're seeing everything that I do based on your past hurts of what you want to think of me as a, you know, woman. And so like it is what it is. Like, I just kept it moving. I didn't try to avoid him. He, you know, still to this day, like, he feel away, he doing the most trying to avoid me, and I'm like, oh well, I'm not gonna avoid you. I'm not gonna not come down a certain road because you're there. I have the right to exist, and I have the right to take up space. And so however you want to deal with that is how you want to deal with it. And I just keep it on moving with my, you know, achieved and like self. Like, I feel like I've done the work. Like, I've healed myself, I accepted myself, and I have the courage to show up authentically as myself. I'm very quiet, I'm very introverted, I'm very introspective, but once you get to know me, I'm very nerdy, I'm very like silly, outgoing. But if you don't take the time to get to know me and you just want to slap a stereotype on me and expect me to perform based on that stereotype, or view everything I do based on that stereotype, I'm not gonna really have much to do with you, because you're not giving me the right to be seen as a person. You're just wanting to view me as your bad experiences, or what you perceive that I am based on how I look. People that, when I look at my tattoos, my piercings, and they think they know me. And they think they know who I am as a person. They think they know my life experiences. And it's like I always got to go through this laundry list. Oh, you married? Oh, okay. Like, people don't expect me to be the type of woman that's married with a child and to be my age. They always think like I'm like in my late 20s or maybe mid 20s, that I'm single, or that like I got baby daddy problems. And like, I get it. the statistics are there for it, but like, can you just give me a chance to say, hey, like, before you just dump all these things on top of me? And it's so like annoying to move through certain things with all these things attached, and always like feeling like I gotta be mindful how I'm holding my face. I gotta be mindful of, like, even to like taking ownership and wearing my hair straight. Like, for years I was natural because I didn't want to be perceived as a certain thing. And like, while I still love a natural afro, while I still think these things about being natural, but at the end of the day, like, if I want to wear my hair straight, I'm just gonna wear it straight. And like, I used to always feel like I had to be a certain type of woman, but like, I'm just gonna show up as me, and I'm gonna be me with straight hair. I'm gonna be me with afro. I'm gonna be me with locks. Like, who I am on the inside doesn't change based on my hair. I love my afro. I love when I had locks. I love when my hair is straight, and I love the versatility of being able to do all of the above. And like, that doesn't make me more or less of an African-American woman based on my hair or what I do or don't accept. And I had to first accept me before I asked other people to accept me. I had to first look in the mirror and be happy with the person I saw before I asked anybody else to be happy around me. I had to learn that I need to be poured into before I just pour, and then I was left empty. I should be able to pour into other people based on the overflow of what I've been poured into. So I wake up every morning now intentionally allowing God to pour into me, allowing myself to say I have the right to occupy space, and when I come to a space, I add value. I have the right to be authentically myself because I am the thumbprint of who God created me to be. When He called me to Him, because I'm a Christian, when He called me to Him, He called all to me. You know, He know I'm sassy. He know I got a mouth. Like, He know I'm super nerdy. He know I struggle with, what I struggle with. And so, like, He loves me every day. And, like, if He loved me through all of that, I should be able to love me too. Like, I should be able to say I have the right to advocate for what I want. I have the right to advocate for what I don't like. I have the right to occupy space and feel like I don't have to rush out of people's way because I don't feel like I'm entitled to be in the space. And so this is, again, a process. And wherever you find yourself out in that process, if you find yourself in that process, know you have the right to be authentically yourself. And it takes time, to have the courage to be that. We could be ourselves. Like, right now, I'm on YouTube. I could be myself in front of y'all because I'm not face to face with y'all. And sometimes we find that more comforting to be our silly selves because we allow people's perception of us to rob us of the opportunity of being our awesome self. And so if that is you, you don't have to wait till you cut on the camera. I saw a girl on TikTok that says she can just really pour out in front of strangers because there's no judgment. You know that nobody have a heaven or hell to put you in. And so, like, when you realize that you are unique and you are beautiful and you add something to a space, no matter how many people in that space, when you realize that you are loved, you don't care about being liked. Like, it took me, so I used to say that all the time. But going through IVF, going through infertility, going through church really has got me to a space where I'm like, when because the part is you have to know you're loved. Like, you have to know it. Not just say, I'm loved and I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, but when you really know that, when it's like the breath that you breathe, when you know that you are loved, you don't care about people liking you. That's just extra. That's just like, you got a 4-course meal and that's the dessert. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you know that you're loved, you don't care about people extra like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to live to be liked by people. And people are fickle, man. One day they like you because you're doing everything for them. But the minute you stop doing something for them, all this stuff. And you know what I'm saying? And people always want to post up talking about people toxic and drawing energy. And I'm like, you the man once, baby. But I'm saying we all have been toxic. We all have been the person that drains. And the point is about being authentic. Like, no matter what season of life I'm in, when I was going through IVF, I was depressed. I battled with my faith, like severely battled to the point I was like, I'm done with this God thing. God, you got it. I'm gonna live my life. But I lived in that space authentically. I embraced that space. I walked through that space. It was thick, it was muddy, it was nasty, man. Man, I turned to a nasty person. Like, y'all see me on camera, but in real life, I was nasty. I owned it. I never tried to be something that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, after walking away from ministry, because we were in the ministry drive for about 5 years, after walking away from ministry, I realized that a lot of people are just doing church. And I don't mean to go here, but I'm gonna go here since it's on my mind. A lot of people were just doing church. They were doing this whole Sunday ritual, getting dressed, you know, doing this. But then on Monday through Saturday, our lives, and I'm gonna say our because I was in it too. I was in that pool swimming around too. Our lives was looking like, you know what I'm saying, what it was. And that's not everybody. I'm not trying to judge nobody. I guess I should just speak for little old me. But on Monday through Saturday, you know, it was the show. You know, when I would see people that would go to my church, I would put on the show. I would, you know, do the things and say the things, speak the Christianese. But like, I didn't have I thought I had a real relationship with God, but it wasn't until going through IVF and asking the tough questions and really going through the thick of it that I really can say that I have a relationship with God. Like, before that, it was just what it was. It was just me, you know, culturally accepting Christianity. I was a cultural Christian at that point. And I would just say the prayers, do the things, and I really thought I was in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not to say I wasn't in there, but God have a way of growing your relationship with him, taking it to levels. Because we were saying, like, I surrender all, but when God is telling you to surrender all, you're like, nah, I'm good. You can have some of it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, going through IVF really just, like, you know, it just stopped me from caring about what people think. Because people gonna think what they want to think, and then you can really do about it. You can either overcompensate yourself, drain yourself, trying to be who they think you should be, and then you wind up treating people like your God. You really worry about what they say and what they don't say, and what they think and what they don't think. You wind up serving them. And like, again, when you know you love, you don't care about their little likes, because you know you are loved. You know that somebody sacrificed their life for you. When you know that you are loved, you accept you, and you know that who God created you to be is everything you are. And like, you don't really, and you know that it's a work in progress. You don't have to show as per perfect work. Like, I struggle with a lot of things. I struggle with sometimes profanity. I struggle with, you know, overindulging in food. I struggle with making people my God. And like, these are the things I'm going to always struggle with. But struggling through those things helped me to realize that I am weak, and in God I am strong. I don't have self-control when it comes to food. I don't have, especially at this weight I'm at now. So what I ask God to do every day is to be my fullness. What I ask him every day is to give me the strength to make it through. And he does that. Like, as far as me trying to do within my own strength, I tried that from the day after my son was born, and I got nowhere. Because I don't have self-control. Self-control is something that has to be cultivated. It has to be strengthened. It has to be, you know, through fasting. Sometimes I do intermittent fasting. On more on my weight loss journey, I'll be more than willing to share that. But I do some intermittent fasting, and like, I pray through it. I walk. I just try to keep myself busy and active, because self-control, what's that? And so, like, as I am acknowledging the truth about where I'm at, because all I can do is deal with the truth. Because when I deal with the truth, then I can see real transformation. A lot of times people just want to, you know, I won't say people, I'm just going to keep it on myself. A lot of times we don't want to do with the truth. We want to be who we think we should be, instead of just accepting who we are and working on it. So I'm just accepting where I'm at, and I'm working on it. For those that, wherever you find yourself out in your life right now, comparison is a thief of joy. Stop comparing your life and your lot to what everybody else do, and don't overcompensate for people's ideas of you or a lack thereof. Like, just have the courage to show up as yourself, because you are enough. You are a work in progress. We all are. Experiences shape us. Life shapes us. And just allow yourself to be, how I think about it, as clay in the master's hands. I am a work in progress. Like, when I'm gonna get it wrong a lot, and I'm gonna rub people the wrong way a lot, and that's my bad. That's just me being human. I'm sorry that it made you feel away. But all I can do is take ownership of what's real and stop trying to be an imposter when it's not true to me. I am very introverted. I'm very nerdy. I'm kind of sassy at times, and that's just who I am. And I don't feel like, I have to particularly change that. Can it be molded? Could it be shaped a different way? Sure. But do I need to ultimately change it to fit into your perceptions of who you think I should be, or to erase the stereotype that I have nothing to do with? Nah. It's a no. That is all I have for you guys in this video. Until next time. Peace.